Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle, and I have decided to use my standard Marriage Therapy Radio introduction, even though we are officially in the post-Laura era. This is my first episode officially, sort of in the new landscape. I hope that you got a chance to listen to the interviews that we just did called So I Married a Relationship Expert. I did my solo episode in January. And now I'm into some new stuff, and I'm excited about it. I have an interview today that I'm excited to share, and I want to tell you about some stuff that's coming up. First, I want to take a moment to thank a couple of people. First, Vicky Dat. Vicky, thank you for your very kind email. I'm glad to have your support and to know that you and others are behind me. And it's not so much that I'm looking for like kudos, but I do want to believe that Marriage Therapy Radio is continuing to provide value in this new era. And I'm just glad to have your support and your wind at my back. I also want to give a shout out to Johanna Flores. Thank you for becoming a Patreon member. You may have noticed that we are reading fewer and fewer ads on the podcast. The reality of that situation is that advertising on podcasts is just becoming a thinner and thinner prospect. And in order for me to continue bringing Marriage Therapy Radio to you week over week, I do need the support of Patreon members like Johanna and others. If you have not become a Patreon supporter, please consider doing that. It's pretty simple. You just go over to patreon.com/Marriage Therapy Radio. You can give $3 a month. You can give $10 a month. You can give $100 a month if you want to. I am committed to providing behind the scenes content over there. There's an interview that comes out next week that I think you're going to love. And then there's a pretty good portion of that I'm going to put just behind the Patreon wall for folks who are interested in learning more. I've got a couple of videos coming out just talking a little bit about what it's like to be me on a day-to-day basis in my practice and in my life. I'll be sharing additional sort of behind-the-scenes content from there, including client stories and specifically answering listener questions. I've got an email box right now full that I want to answer, and I'm going to do that over at Patreon. So the best way to support Marriage Therapy Radio and to keep us on the air is to become a monthly member. Just think of it as buying me a cup of coffee or lunch or dinner. I'm not interested in getting rich, but I am interested in knowing and feeling your support. So please, if you haven't done that, take a minute, again, to roll over to patreon.com/Marriage Therapy Radio. You can also go to marriagetherapyradio.com and find a link there. And I will be grateful for you, and I'll call you out on the podcast for being a friend and a supporter and a member. I think I'm going to start calling you guys members. Okay, today I am talking to Dr. Stormy Hill and Teri Citterman, who wrote a book called In a Pickle, How to Master Love and Pickleball and Not Kill Each Other. It was a really fun topic for me to explore, primarily because I've never played pickleball before. And talking to Stormy and Teri about their experience, it was really fun. I've gotten to meet Teri since then. I went to her book signing and was able to meet a bunch of pickleball enthusiasts who were able to learn about the first and second rule of pickleball, which I will not share here because, spoiler alert. But if it's your thing, if you're playing pickleball and you are trying to do that alongside your partner, there's a lot of good advice in here, including something about what they call kitchen knife moments. That was intriguing to me. And I've certainly had a few of those of my own. Again, even though I've never played pickleball, I guess there's a thing called the kitchen, but I have an actual kitchen and I've had actual kitchen knife moments in my actual kitchen. But I think you'll get a kick out of Stormy and Teri. They are good friends. They're smart ladies. They're both in relationships with men that they play pickleball with, and this is where they've gathered a lot of their wit and wisdom. So if you know a couple who is into pickleball, I recommend this book. It's a great gift. And if you're just interested in learning how the sport can teach you something about relationships, I think you'll enjoy hearing from them. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around. Teri Citterman, Dr. Stormy Hill, thank you for joining me. You guys have written a book about pickleball, which is, I have a confession to make. I have never played pickleball. I don't even think I've picked up a pickleball paddle in my life. I do belong to a swim and tennis club, so I have like a tennis thing that I don't know if they're like rivals or something, kind of like. Mm-hmm. But we can talk about that. But hi, welcome, and
hi.
Tell me about you and tell me about your book, and let's get rolling. Actually, tell me what you think about the fact that I've never played pickleball. That's what I'm actually really interested in.
Go ahead, Teri. You take that one.
I have many thoughts on that, Zach, especially since you live in Seattle.
Right.
The home of pickleball founding. So I think you need to immediately pick up a paddle and get to the nearest court.
Well, it sounds like if I do, I might be in trouble because if I play with my wife, apparently some real problems may emerge quickly. So
we've got solutions for you and your wife playing together.
Yeah, I would agree with Teri, Zach. I think, so I came from a tennis background as well, as many, many pickleball players do. And now I say I came from the dark side, which is hilarious because tennis was a huge part of my life for for decades. But I think pickleball is absolutely amazing, life-changing, community building, amazing exercise. There's just tons and tons of benefits.
Why is pickleball so great?
So, I mean, there was an Pedal Tech wrote an article about that. They always joke that it's a cult, but they talk about it's actually an allegiance, and there really is such a deep allegiance to it. For me, I can just speak for me. For me, it's the community, it's the playfulness, it's the exercise, and it's really just that you can, bring your paddle anywhere you go. Teri took her paddle to India with her. I took my paddle. We've gone to Mexico and played. And so the accessibility and the fact that, an 80-year-old could be playing with her great grandson and both could be having fun. Like that's so unique to pickleball.
Okay. But also I saw this video where some guy like kicked another guy in the face. Did you see that video?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What's the deal there? Like I've never seen a tennis person kick somebody in the face. I'm defending my territory a little bit, but what's going on?
That was unique. Before I address that, the other things I would say from a general pickleball standpoint, first of all, it's called pickleball. So how can you not have fun in a game called pickleball?
Yeah.
Secondly, it's a smaller court. And so you're really social with the other people. So it's very fun in that way. The game was founded on being able to hold a paddle and a drink at the same time. So, what's not to love about pickleball?
Yeah.
The whole kicking in the face thing, that was something. And I would say that's pretty unusual, except that when Stormy and I were playing doubles in Costa Rica at a pickleball tournament, there were, 3 fights that broke out? Same guy each time, but that happened. So I'm not going to say it's a violent sport, but I'm going to say that some people's competitiveness gets a little out of hand.
It stirs passion, perhaps.
That's totally stirs passion. Yeah.
So I read that you guys met in Costa Rica through pickleball, or did you like bump into each other and just happen to have paddles in your hand, or how does that work?
Through pickleball. And we had paddles in our hand.
Yeah. So how did you decide to, how did your relationship begin to form, and how did you end up deciding to write the book?
Yeah, I think, so we both have homes in Costa Rica and we both spend time down there, and we were playing down there. We were both pretty new to the game, and I was like, wait, who is this woman? She's beautiful inside and out, and she was crushing it on the pickleball court, and I was drawn to her energy. So we met, and I met her husband and my partner, my long-term boyfriend. We just, the 4 of us just really clicked on and off the court. And that was the beginning of our friendship. And then when we decided, I had this idea of writing the book, and I went to Teri, and, she's written books before, and I just knew her background and her skill set. I said, hey, do you want to write this book? And I said, I know you're really thoughtful and you need to so take some time and think about things. And she's like, nope, I'm in. And we just
I love that.
Did it together. And, there's something pretty amazing about co-authoring. It is not easy. Authoring is not easy. And you know that, Zach. And co-authoring is additionally not easy. And I'm just, I'm so grateful for how we've navigated it, and that writing this book has been able to be helpful for so many couples on the court, and also for us deepening our friendship and our relationship.
Well, there's a couple, when I got your invitation to talk about the book, I immediately was like, I don't know, because I've never played pickleball. But I do have a real heart for understanding how play works in relationships. Like when I have this book that I want to write. It's called, in my brain, it's called Quit Working on Your Marriage. And it's based on kind of 2 premises. The first one is that if you're going to do work, you should do work on yourself. And second of all, who wants to work on their marriage if play is an option? And so when I was reading through kind of the summary, and maybe you should tell me why the book will be helpful to me, or why the book, will it be helpful to me as in someone who doesn't play pickleball, or why will it be helpful to readers who pick it up and decide that they want to hear what you have to say?
Well, I would say, yes, it'll be helpful to you. It's really designed to be a book about relationships, and it happens to be about pickleball because we love pickleball.
I think, listen, I want to praise that because I also think there is a lot to learn about relationships in surprising places. Like we've
Totally.
talked to, I actually talked to a professional athlete. You may know her name is Christine Lilly. She actually went to UNC and was on the 99 World Cup team that won that. And they've been all over the place. But what can athletics teach us about relationships? What can the art of magic teach us about relationships? So what can nerds teach us about relationship? I mean, I think there's surprising lessons everywhere. So I love actually that you're like, okay, what does pickleball teach us about relationships, or what is? So I'm ready. Load me up. Tell me what is the takeaway here.
Well, I'll just talk about my experience with my husband.
And they both play. Your partners both play. So
they do.
Got it.
They do.
And we both started playing the game with our partners.
Okay.
Yes. And it's one of the few games where you can play with your partner, even if you're at different levels, at least at the beginning. As you advance, it becomes a little more challenging, and that's where my story picks up.
Okay.
My husband is a very good athlete. He's got extreme high hand-eye coordination. He was a tennis champion at the pro club, actually, in Seattle, and he's a scratch golfer. And he and I started playing together. It was great. We have an amazing marriage. Anyone who knows us would agree. But once the competition picked up, he turned into a dick. And there's no other way to say it. He became someone I had never seen before.
My wife said that experience.
Yeah? Well, the first chapter of our book is don't be a dick. First rule. Second rule, don't be a dick. I had to say it twice.
It's the first and second rule?
It's the first and second rule. Yes.
I love that.
So we were playing and it got, the eye rolls and the huffing and the just shit talking at me. And I'd never experienced this. And it really made us step back and say, hold on, can we play together? And he actually said, no, we can't. And it was devastating to me because we don't have that many things that we do together. I mean, I ski, he golfs, that kind of thing. So this was pretty upsetting to me. And as a solution, we found someone else to play in tournaments together. We call him our throuple. I play with him in mixed doubles. He plays with him in doubles, men's doubles. And then we went to Costa Rica and eventually came back together because the competition just wasn't that high. And so he had no one to play with but me. So he had to figure it out. And in reading the book, he really recognized the impact that he had on other people, me being that person most specifically. And it's really caused him to change and have more fun and be more light. He's very intense. He's an engineer. He's very analytical. But in order to play together and have a good relationship on the court, it was really important that he lighten up. And me, take his instruction or feedback seriously and try to get better because I want to get better. So that's how it's really helped us.
Yeah.
Is it listen, I actually love and hate at the same time that I'm a complete newbie to this concept or this sport. Is it a sport that you play exclusively as doubles, or can you play pickleball like one-on-one? Or do you play one-on-one?
You can play one-on-one. You can play singles.
You can play singles.
But most people play doubles and in a fun way, it's all about doubles.
Yeah. It's the heart of it is people get together and they play next to their partner or their friend or whatever, and they're playing with two other people.
And you mentioned, Zach, about playfulness. I totally think you should write a book on the power of play.
Yeah.
I'm a big, as a mental health occupational therapist, it's important for us to bring play in. I worked for 20 years in dual diagnosis, mental health and substance use disorder. And I would say bringing play into like the healing process is so important because healing has a lot of gravity to it, has a lot of weight to it. So I love anywhere I can bring in playfulness. And in my own life, that was one thing for me that was such a draw to the game, to pickleball, is the playfulness of pickleball. I mean, it's called pickleball. Even the name is delightful, And
Why
similar
is
to,
it called pickleball? Do we know?
yeah, we do. We actually have the one of the creators of pickleball. His son wrote our foreword, Joel
Okay.
Bell. But it from the idea of a pickle boat. It's not the named after the dog, which came later, Pickles. But it's actually like in the rowing and crew, all the people who don't make the boat A and boat B are in the pickle boat. And that was like how she talked about the game, was like kind of this mishmash of people. And like Teri said, barefoot or in flip flops with a cocktail in their hand. And that's how it became named pickleball.
I love that.
You can read all about it, Zach, when the book comes.
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to. Well, here's the thing. I think I noticed that the book won an award or something, right? It's like a top pickleball gift, which is cool. And I have a friend that I'm going to give it to. I know exactly who is going to get it from me because he's obsessed with pickleball. But I do think, like, is there something for me, the newbie? And it might just be that I learn how this sport, because my wife, her name's Rebecca. We're different types of athletes and we do enjoy playing tennis together, but when we show up at the tennis court, we have to have an agreement that I am going to play to her level. I'm not going to try and play my kind of tennis because I will beat her 6-0, 6-0, 6-0. So we have to just figure out how we're going to have fun. But everything I hear about pickleball is that you can kind of show up at all kinds of degrees. And as long as the agreement is there is a possibility that we can all thrive in this context, which
Totally, and as a couple,
as long as I guess as long as you're not a dick.
Well, and that's part of, right, the couples service. You work with couples on agreements, right, and being clear in your communication and having boundaries. And these things, literally, like Teri mentioned, like it's a relationship book that happens to take place on a pickleball court. And the reason that we decided to write this book is because of our own struggles with our love partners on the court, which were, my story is very similar to Teri's. Like, it was great at the beginning, then as we got better, it fell apart. And I was like, come on, like, I'm a therapist. Like, well, how do we apply these strategies to the court? And I was seeing dear friends arguing in the court. You can't go to a tournament and not see people arguing in the court. If you're playing against them, you're kind of excited because you're about to win the next few points when couples are in distress with each other. But it was just something, like, we had such a heart for the game, and we were like, we want to help ourselves and our friends and our community and just people at large, because it's the fastest growing sport in the United States, multiple years in a row. It's now turning into a very worldwide sport.
Yeah,
it's becoming NCAA sport, high school sport. I mean,
is it really?
So
they're going to take it on at the NCAA level?
Yeah, the colleges just started bringing it on. There's talk about the Olympics, not the next one, but the one after that. So it's just such a growing sport. And so we wanted to, and the fastest, like last year, the fastest growing segment was in their 50s. This year, the fastest growing segment is late 20s to early 30s. So we're seeing the dynamics of the sport change so much. So couples are flocking to the courts and they want to play together. And really the intention was pretty self-serving at the beginning. I was like, I need to get along better with my boyfriend on the court. Teri wanted to get along better with her partner with her husband on the court. And so we say, like, to love more and win more points. So there's relationship tips in the book. There's also strategy tips in the book. And just like anything in life, if we apply these strategies, better communication, understanding how someone gives and receives love, setting intentions, goal setting, boundaries, all those same things apply to the pickleball court. And we say in the book, it's like a little microcosm of your relationship because it's a very small space.
Do either of you have stories of like things that you learned, say, while writing the book? Like, how did you work stuff out with each other or your partners or your own theories? Like, what have been some surprising takeaways for you as you think about your own process of, learning through the book process?
So so where I have been most impressed and most educated was in how we dealt with conflict. We're very different styles.
You two, or you and your
Stormy
partner?
and I, yeah,
Okay.
Stormy and I as co-authors.
Yeah.
But in relationship together.
Oh, yeah.
We have very different styles. We have very different perspectives. And to be able to have an issue surface, deal with it.
Nope. I think she froze.
Oh, she did freeze.
Yeah, it's been happening because she and I meet a lot. Oh, she dropped. She'll get back on and finish that. But she dropped with me the other day too. I don't know what's going on with her internet. Probably the freeze that Texas has right now. I agree with what Teri was saying, that, there was relationship issues, challenges that arose for her and I to navigate. And it's really sweet and tender for me that our relationship is deepened and become more intimate and, more communicative, more transparent through this process. And then I think, as far as for my long-term partner, I don't even know, 7 or 8 years I've been with my boyfriend. And, they call themselves, my boyfriend and Teri's husband call themselves the villains in the book, but that is not the case. By the way, the rule of don't be a dick is a genderless term, because I can be just as much of a dick as my partner can be. But it was really kind of a funny thing when they were like, how do you... People are like, did you read the book? And my boyfriend's always like, I am the book, So, but to your question specifically, it was such a beautiful process. I was healing I had a total hip replacement. So I was off the court, off of exercise. I'm a 7-day-a-week workout person. So that was very psychologically, way more than the pain and physicality, the psychological journey of healing from a hip replacement. I was off the court for 4 months. So I was like, I need something to do to keep my mind busy. We had seen this struggle in our own relationships, in friends, in tournaments, even up to the pro levels. And so we're like, let's write this book. It gives me in my mind something to do. And that's kind of partly why we cranked it out so quickly. And also wanted to be the first book to the market about relationships with pickleball.
Yeah.
But, specifically things that Teri brought to the book, like some of her ideas, we both brought our ideas collectively and collaboratively. I was like, well, let me try this. And so we started applying the strategies. So, for example, there's a strategy about using safe words. Right? Obviously, comes from the sexuality space.
Yeah.
Applying it to the pickleball court.
Like, no, I'm a fan. Go ahead.
Yeah. So using safe words, right? Having that communication. My partner's and mine is pineapple. So when I'm on the court,
do you want to know something? Can I just?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people use pineapple as their word? Like, it is absurd. Like, I hear it. It's almost like. Anyway, I think that's so cool. There's something in the universe, though, about pineapple being a safe word for people. So,
and Teri Rajas, she'll tell you, it's in the book, is pumpernickel. So it must have like something with the letter P.
Yeah.
But what that means is like, I just did it the other day when we were back in the court. I wanted to go out and just have fun and be playful. I'm just getting back in the court. I'm healing still from my hip replacement. My boyfriend was very intense, wanted to like crush all the balls and crush all the opponents. And I literally looked at him and I go, pineapple, meaning I am no longer open to feedback. I don't want any eye rolls. I just want to play. And he goes, all right, pineapple. And it changes the whole dynamic. So, really, for me, it was such a delightful process to really try these strategies. First, the two of us, our two coupleships, then share them with friends. And, and then we even like said to test readers who weren't pickleball players, like, hey, try this strategy, see what you think. And so again, that kind of extrapolation from the pickleball court to life and from life to the pickleball court. And, when your idea about play, like nothing exists in a vacuum, right? So like people, when they say, leave home at home and don't bring it into work. It's like, that's not how the human psyche, soul, and heart works, right? So we bring stuff onto the pickleball court, we take stuff off the pickleball court, and we wanted to help couples navigate it, in a great way. And so for you, if you're just thinking about playing, which totally encourage you to do it. You will thank us. We have to look back at this like a year from now and you can say,
I belong to this swim and tennis club here in town, and there's been a lot of resistance to even allowing the courts to be used for pickleball, because there's this fear that it will sort of take over, like culturally it will sort of take over the scene.
Totally. And there, you joked about the animosity or the sidedness of tennis and pickleball, but there's a lot of overlap too, and a lot of pro tennis players are coming over, and a lot of the top pickleball players were pro tennis players, or NCAA tennis players, collegiate athletes. And so I think it's very different. Like I have lots of people I play with who play both still. I just don't, because of a shoulder injury. I don't play tennis anymore.
Yeah.
But and honestly, in full transparency, when my boyfriend brought it up 2 years ago, he's like, "Hey, come try pickleball with me." I literally said, "I'm too young. I used to be a tennis player. I'm too fit. I am not playing this sport." I was so judgy, and I went and played. This is a true story. We went and played here in Utah, and this guy who must have been late 70s, if not 80s, 2 knee braces, 2 elbow braces, was playing on the other side with another guy at this rec center, and was so gracious because I'd never played, didn't know the scoring. He pickled us, meaning 11-0. He won 11-0, he and his partner. And I was like, what is this sport? Like, because we collectively didn't match up to his age,
Yeah.
the two of us together. And he was just so kind and so funny. And so that was the start. I mean, I was very like curious about it. And then relationally, what came up for my partner and I was really, really an amazing. I mean, we say that it's your communication workshop. It is very much a relationship workshop on the pickleball court. If you are going to play with your love partner, and similar to what Teri shared, we talked about not playing together, and that really like broke my heart because he's one of my favorite people in the world. He's a great athlete. I'm a good athlete. We wanted to play together, and so we found a way to navigate our way back. And we call it in the book a pickleball divorce. Like we don't want couples to have to choose a pickleball divorce unless they're doing so thoughtfully.
Hi, Teri.
Hi,
Teri.
How you doing? We thought maybe you had an ice storm hit your house or something.
I shared with them, Teri, about the safe words and how that was like interesting for me and like to apply some of those strategies from the book.
I love safe words.
Let me see if I can guess what
You won't guess.
I will. It's pumpernickel. I already know.
No.
I was telling Stormy that it is absurd. It's absolutely mind blowing how many people have pineapple as their safe word. It's so common in my world, in my business. I don't know why people gravitate to that, but there's something in the universe that says you're aligned to the chakra of safe cooperation or collaboration. So I've not heard pumpernickel before, but I think I'm a huge fan of safe words. Whether that's you said it's from the sexuality space, but I think whether it's in the play space or the conflict space, like just being able to signal to one another that now is not the time to, or rather signal to one another that if we keep doing this, it's going to be harmful.
Yes.
That's how, I mean, again, if you think about S&M or bondage or whatever, you don't use the word when you're kind of uncomfortable. You use the word when, if we keep doing this, there's going to be psychological or physical or sexual damage. That I think you ought to bring that concept into day-to-day communication. Maybe it's on the court. So I love that concept that you've introduced. Do you have other sort of practical things that couples can take away or should take away from, as you discovered when you're writing the book?
Well, we call those moments that you just described kitchen knife moments.
Oh, I love that. I remember seeing that in your summary.
And
Talk to me about kitchen knife moments.
The reason we call them kitchen knife moments, there's lots of reasons, but one of the main reasons is on the pickleball court, again, in a whimsical way, the part that's closest to the net is called the kitchen.
Okay.
And it's a non-volley zone unless the ball bounces. And am I saying those things right, Stormy?
Yeah. Perfectly said. Very well said.
And so the point is that many people find it challenging to not go in the kitchen and end up it becomes a fault. But the point of our situation is I have a friend who I play pickleball with, and she said to me one day, I almost had a kitchen knife moment with my husband. And she meant actually in the kitchen with a knife. And I was like, oh my God, that is a pickleball term for the ages. So kitchen knife moments are those times when you have the desire to stab your partner and you will do everything.
You're standing there with a knife in your hand and you're like, what am I going to do with this?
Pickleball paddle, but something,
any object that could, do harm. We don't do harm. We don't encourage harm, but those are how we recognize those moments.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that's something that we, again, there's this playfulness, this levity to it. We say multiple different ways in the book, like it's pickleball, like let's keep it in perspective, right? Like, it's about playfulness and connection. So let's move in that direction. So, some tangibles, Zach, you asked, so safe words, we talk about just basic communication, unhealthy communication, healthy communications. We talk about feedback, how to give and receive, the two-way street that feedback is. We talk about intention setting and being clear with your intentions with your partner. And
to add to that part, so there's a part about being intentional or versus being in tension. You're going to be one or the other. So which one do you want to be?
Speaking my love language right now. I love messing around with words.
And we have love languages. Pickleball love languages.
Pickleball love languages. Pickleball emotional intelligence, which, by the way, spoiler alert, your emotional intelligence matters more than your IQ.
You have love languages that are unique to pickleball. What would be an example?
we made them unique to pickleball. We took the standard 5 love languages,
Okay.
but we translated into pickleball talk.
Okay.
So, for example, and this was news to me because I don't buy into the love languages thing until now. But my love language is appreciation, which knowing me, I never would have guessed that, but there we have it. And so when Raj and I are on the court together, Raj, my husband, and he's, not being supportive or being critical, that has more impact on me than I realized it did. And now he understands that, and it's not like he does it perfectly. Every day is a practice. But for him to encourage me or to say good shot or to, give me good feedback or reinforcement makes a huge difference for me. So it's standard love language, but we translate it into how it works on the pickleball court. Stormy's is touch, right?
Physical touch. My partner's is physical touch. So for us, paddle boops, like a consensual pat on the bottom with the paddle,
High fives,
a hug, a sweaty hug. I mean, it's like, those are things that matter to us. A high five, and it's, I'm a big fan of the love languages. Use them with my couples a lot when I do sex and intimacy coaching. And so we were like, make sure you know your love language, your partner's love language. Here's ways to apply it to the pickleball court.
I love that. I think that's so clever. I wanted to, Teri, before you got cut off, you were about to tell me about sort of how conflict, like what you've learned about conflict, particularly between you and Stormy. And I love when this happens because sometimes I'll have a couple and, he'll be 20 minutes late to the appointment for some reason. And she'll come in and she'll tell me about the fight that they just had. And she'll go into real detail. And then when he comes in, I'll go, hey, welcome. Hey, just for a second. And I might say, Stormy, I don't want you to say anything at all. Teri, tell me about the fight that you just had. And he'll tell me about it then, or the partner will tell me it, and it'll be unrecognizable. Like they will have had 2 totally different arguments. And so part of it is appreciating that there's this filter that we have that sometimes is just in outer space relative to our partner. All that to say, I got to hear a little bit from Stormy about how she understands the tension that the two of you may have navigated together. I'd love to hear you talk about it without knowing what Stormy said.
I feel like we're on a game show.
I know, right? It's the newlywed game.
It's the newlywed game. We do have a section of that in the book, by the way, the newlywed game. Okay, so where I left off was people know me. They know I'm direct. She knew I am direct. We all agree on my communication stuff. We were never in a situation for me to understand or recognize her level of relentlessness until we were writing the book. And relentlessness is a strength in all cases.
Yeah,
and
until it's not.
It's a challenge as well.
Yeah.
And so we really had to navigate, because I'm a pretty high energy, high paced person, but I would say Stormy, the best word I can use was willing and able to bulldoze some of that, which is unusual for me because I can be a pretty big bulldozer myself. But so we had to navigate the boundary of me saying, I heard you, I got it, stop. And we were able to, in what I would call nothing less than grace. I was so impressed by her level of hearing me and acknowledging me and changing how she approached me so that we could continue on our journey. Because like you said, our pace was fast, but we were able to come out the other side in a much higher vibration, in a much higher level of energy of path forward than I couldn't believe it really, because it's pretty rare, I think, that 2 people can do that, whether you're married or in friendship. In friendship, you almost never have that opportunity, right? Because the stakes are never that high, or not usually. But in this case, it was really something to be able to say, we navigated this and produce something even greater than we were before.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so important. Like, I think I always joke around that what's the best possible outcome of conflict? Do you have any idea?
What I just said.
Yeah. Well, it's makeup sex, right? And it doesn't have to be
Well, we
intercourse.
haven't had
but
made up makeup sex yet, but
Well,
when we're
you
in the
have.
next city together.
Well, you have though. I mean, because I don't think it means intercourse. It means we have a great conversation, or we thrive in the next match and we're better. Like it's something like intimacy. So makeup sex gets a laugh when I'm public speaking, and everybody's like, yeah, that's great. But it really is this idea that we are closer now because we navigated something challenging.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that it sounds like exactly what you're describing, which is which I think is really cool. And is one of you better at pickleball than the other one?
No, we're actually we played women's together. We play women's doubles together. I mean, that's like a lot because I think we're both very choosy.
Yeah.
And Teri's like, I have like two women that I would play with, and Teri's one of them. So as far as level, we're very similar. Our partners are similar in level, and it's really fun. Like, I mean, when Teri and her husband are playing, my boyfriend and I, it's like 50-50. Like they win half the time, we win half the time, and it's so fun. It's like they're my favorite couple to play for sure.
I love that. Because I think, again, sometimes just being in competition with somebody, you can care most about winning and losing, or you can care most about playing. And this is why I go back to this idea that play is so important. Like, it's really like, I imagine that if one of you is better, or if as a couples, one of you are better, and there was just this kind of not 50-50, it's more like 100%, that would become less fun. Unless you had this commitment that you're describing, which is, are we committed to just becoming better people, raising our EQ, raising our ability to be in the same space and use that space for something like connection.
Mm-hmm. So. Totally. Yeah. And, and Teri mentioned earlier about he can play with your significant other at different levels until it gets challenging, right? So just this morning, I got a text from a gentleman in my pickleball group at the club here in Utah. And he was like, hey, he has a standing Friday night date night with him and his wife. He is a very good pickleball player. She is a more beginner pickleball player. He plays probably 6 days a week, but on Friday night, it's his date night thing. He invites couples, and so he invited my boyfriend and I, and he's like, just to let you know, the play is not like, way low. It's probably 3-0 level. And I said to my partner, I was like, I want to go. And he was like, well, it's not going to be good, good play. And I was like, I know, but it's community building, and I would love to meet these couples, so we're going to be going, And so he was like, well, we're playing earlier in the 4 holes. And then I said, great, well, we can play twice. But the point being, like, there's really, you just have to go in with that mindset that you're not going in to improve your game. You're going in to improve your relationship and build community.
I love that.
And I would add to that, what we've met other couples who organize games with other couples, and they call it couples therapy, which is sort of ironic, but based on our experience. But it's something that is just fun to get together with other people, other couples, whatever, and just play. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And you burn 8 to 10 calories a minute, which is almost twice of what you burn in tennis, just FYI.
All right.
So I did not believe that until I had to research it and check my Apple Watch on it. But it is, because it's so much smaller, you're hitting so many more balls. And so that it just translates to more twitch fibers. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I think our episode will come out right around Valentine's Day. So if I'm looking for a way to connect with my partner around Valentine's Day, sounds like take up a new hobby, take up a new sport together, and grab your book and use it to help me both get better at. It sounds like I could actually get better at pickleball.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But also get better at just leveraging this non-relationship thing to become better at relationships, which is, again, it's a huge passion of mine. So I'm really glad that you wrote the book and that we got to talk about it today.
I say grab your wife, grab your paddle. An attorney told me not to say that, but grab your wife, grab your paddle, and grab the book and go play.
Yeah, right on. Cool. How do we learn more? I mean, I guess we can buy it sort of wherever books are sold, but if people want to learn more about you guys, what is the best direction to send them? Where should I send them?
So you can get the book on Amazon, In a Pickle, How to Master Love and Pickleball and Not Kill Each Other. It's on Amazon. And then our website is loveandpickleball.net. And we're on Instagram at love_and_pickleball. And we do relationship tips and pickleball tips on their Instagram.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. Thanks for being among my first sort of new era interviews here on Marriage Therapy Radio. And I'm looking forward to, I think the book arrives in my mailbox today. And I'm definitely going to check it out. And then I can already think of 3 or 4 people right now that I want to put it in their hands because it feels like a great gift and a great opportunity for them to take something they already love to get better at something else that they already love. So
to win.
Yeah. I appreciate you both. Thanks so much.
Thank
you.
All right. Hope you got a kick out of Teri Citterman and Dr. Stormy Hill. I sure enjoyed getting to know them. They have inspired me to consider thinking about possibly maybe playing pickleball at some time in the future. Again, if you are looking for some advice on how to master love and pickleball and not kill each other, check out their book, In a Pickle. It's also a great gift for friends or family you may know who are followers or players of the sport, especially if they're in a couple. And here's just one last reminder / plea to join our Patreon community. Again, you can just go to marriagetherapyradio.com and click on the link there. I very much will appreciate your patronage, and it will help me know that I'm continuing to bring value to you in ways that are important and help you change your relationships. I am also very excited about a couple of episodes that are coming up. Next week in particular, you are going to get to be a fly on the wall during boat night. If you've heard about us talking about boat night on the podcast, it's when I get together with a couple of my friends and we talk about our wives and girlfriends. We recorded that episode last week and I'm really intrigued to hear what you think about it. So check it out. For now, I wish you the best and I'll thank you for all the time and attention you put into making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.